Necron Army Showcase, Warhammer 40k, 14,000 points of
Necrons!
Welcome to my 2000th video special. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video, my 2000th video special. Today I'm going to have a look at my 14,000 points Necron army. Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so I've spent all day literally getting this army out, recording this video and then putting the army away again. It's been a lot of fun seeing my completed and fully painted army on the table. So I really hope you enjoy it. Let's go straight in to the army showcase video. Okay, there you go. That is my entire Necron army on the table. Everything painted, 14,000 points. I'm really happy how the army is looking. I hope you like it too. What we're going to do is we're going to have a closer look at each individual section on the table. Can't wait to get going. Don't forget to put your comments down below. Let me know what you think of my army. Okay, let's have a closer look. Okay, so let's start off with the troop choices. The Faithful Warrior. I have 60 of the current plastic warriors. Now in case you're wondering, I don't actually have a dynasty for my army. I am using the old fluff from the original Codex. So yeah, no dynasties for me. I can just pick and choose any dynasty that I need depending on the rules. As you can see, I've got a few Scarabs scattered around. You'll see that on the whole of the table. I've got 63 Scarab Swarms in total. Some of those are actually made of green stuff and some are the original. Okay, let's have a look at some more troops. Okay, so next we've got some Immortals. These are the old school metal models. So they've got Gauze Blasters. That was the only option back in the day. So yeah, I've got 20 of these. I can have 2 squads of 10 or I can have 4 squads of 5. And I painted those exactly the same as in the old Necron Codex. That was the paint scheme in actual fact for the whole of the army. Okay, now I've got some more troops, so let's have a look at those. Okay, so next I have 30 old school metal warriors. Now, in actual fact, in game I use these as Immortals as well, but I use these as Tesla Immortals. The models themselves are slightly bigger than the current plastic warriors, and they look pretty cool, and as they have a totally different gun to my other Immortals, they seem to work really well as Tesla Immortals. And I have found on the table these Tesla weapons have been incredibly good. Yes, they have no AP, but the volume of shots is just awesome. Okay, I've got one more troops model to show you, and then we'll move on to some other units. Okay, so here is an old Metal Immortal, and as you can see it's quite big compared to the current Immortals. Really cool model. I've only got one, so I use him as an objective marker, usually for the relic. Put a load of Scarabs on his base just to make him look really funky. So yeah, that is all of my troops, so let's have a look at another unit. Okay, so next up is the Death Marks. Now I don't have a huge amount of these. I've got 7 models in total. However, I have converted them. As you can see, I've put the green rod into their guns. I love the green rods in the Necron army. Personally, I think they look really cool. So I added the green rods to them. And as I said, I've got 7 in total. Quite a nice little sniper unit if I want a distraction unit. Okay, let's have a look at some more units. Okay, so next up are my flayed ones. I'm probably fairly famous for flayed ones here on YouTube, so I run a 60 strong themed flayed one list. I have a lot of fun with it. I've painted these so that I can have 3 units of 20 or 6 units of 10. So I've got some what I call Blood Angel skin on these guys. At the back we've got some Tau skin ones, and at the front we have Orc skin. Really love these models. I'm using the Deep Cut Studio Gotham matte to display this army, by the way, in case you are interested. So yeah, 60 flayed ones. I've got to try and adapt my flayed one list for 8th edition. I'm still in the process of doing that, but there will be more to come in the future on my flayed one list. Okay, let's have a look at another unit. Okay, so next we have the Wraiths. I have 18 of these old school metal Wraiths. Really love these models. They're really good in game. They're great complement to my flayed ones being an assault list. And yeah, just really cool. So I've got 3 units of 6, or if I want to, I can have 6 units of 3, depending on what I'm doing with the army. Okay, so that is my Wraiths. Okay, so next we have 6 Tomb Spiders, or Canaptic Spiders as they are now called. So once again, these are the old school metal models, and I really like these. To be fair, I like the old school models probably more than the new ones. Now as you can see, I've got a bit of a conversion going here on this one. That's because I bought it second hand. I had a broken leg, so I just adapted with some green stuff Scarabs. I've got this guy here I posed sitting down. He's known as Sitting Bull. Got 4 with guns, and I've got 2 without guns. The models just came slightly different when you bought them in the pack. But yeah, really like these, and I do tend to use them in my Scarab farm list, which I very much enjoy playing. Okay, so next we have some old school metal destroyers. Really love these models. They make great tomb blade stands in for when I use them as tomb blades, but I can also use them as destroyers as well. So quite a nice unit to be able to have in the army. Just chop and change depending on what I want them to be. But yeah, really loving these old school models. I've only recently got them, to be fair. I got them specifically for tomb blades. But yeah, I'm really happy with them. I love collecting them. And to be fair, I'd be quite happy to get some more sometime in the future. Okay, we're going to have a look at my HQ choices now. Okay, so my HQ choices. Now this is a part of the army that I don't mind having models which are built and painted and done by other people. The rest of the army is exclusively my models, everything done by me. But in my HQ choices, I've got a few external ones done mainly by the community here on YouTube. So let's have a closer look and I'll run through them for you. Okay, so starting off with Imhotep, that is one of my models that I built and painted. And then we've got Orican just at the front there again. That's one of my recent conversions that I did. And then we move on to models done by the community. Now a few of these are sort of made up models, and then I tend to use them as stand-ins. So for example, this guy with the big staff here, I use him as one of the Forge World characters. This model was done for me by Messy Painting. Don't think they're on YouTube anymore. At the back there, I've got this guy, I use him as a Nemesaur, and he was done for me by Zach Garnage. Okay, so next up I've got a custom model here which I got done for me by Archie. He is again no longer on YouTube, but this model is made of green stuff and plasticard. Now originally he was going to be a cryptic, but he turned out a bit smaller than a cryptic, so I use him as Illuminor, or as I called him, Yoda Tech. It's really cool. I love this guy and he's just awesome to have in the army. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the cryptics, and these are all done, as I said, by the community. Hopefully I won't get any of the names wrong. So we've got this guy here done for me by Kikumiku7. He did an awesome conversion and paint job with those flayed one claws. At the back I've got one here from Nerdopolis Prime, and he did one that's got like lightning and stuff all on his back. Looks really cool. Then next we've got this guy here done for me by Pezapu. Thank you Pezapu, that was an awesome model. And then behind him we've got one from Miniature Maniacs. Coming to the left, the one at the back there, that was done for me by Rebel Wargaming. And at the front from Dunk 1978 Banker. Thank you Dunk. Okay, so next we are into the Lords. Now these Lords are all my models. I've got that one at the back with the purple cape. He is an original model there with the war sigh. Then I've got this guy here who I converted up with a Staff of Light. This guy here has a magnetised arm, so you can have both a Warsight and Staff of Light. And then the one at the back there, which I've recently done, and he has the Void Blade. Behind him is my Overlord, donated to me by Aceface. Thank you, Aceface. He is a fine cast model, and yes, his staff at the top and at the back has broken about 1,000 times. I hate fine cast. I've got some Destroyer Lords. I've got an original Destroyer Lord just there, and then I have a few converted ones. So I have this Tomb Spider Destroyer Lord, that guy at the back there, one of the old Necron Lords. I can double this up either as a command barge or a Destroyer Lord, depending on what I want on my list. Then I have my Wraith designed Destroyer Lord, so he's obviously on the Wraith base. I did him because at one point the Destroyer Lord with Wraiths worked really well. At the back there we've got an Overlord in a command barge, and that is fully magnetised, and brings me nicely on to the next unit, the Annihilation Barge. So both of these here are basically magnetised, so I can have either 2 command barges or I can have 2 Annihilation Barges. Really useful to have magnetised models. And talking of magnetised models, let's have a look at a few more of those. Okay, so next we have the Arks. We've got the Doomsday Ark just here, fully magnetised. That can change into a Ghost Ark, and then the Ghost Ark once again fully magnetised. That includes the warriors inside and the guns. The guns turn around so they are the right way depending on the version that I have. Now, talking of magnetised models, I also have my Doom Scythe stroke Night Scythe fully magnetised into both options. I really love what I did to the base on this model. It looks pretty cool. Got bits of monoliths and scarabs and stuff. Very cool. Okay, let's have a look at some more units. Okay, so next is my Forge World Pylon. I purchased this a long time ago. I had every unit in the Codex, and the Pylon was the last thing to get. And I was feeling a bit flush, so I went out and bought it. Really love the model. It's fair to say I've hardly used it in game, although I do need to get it out now that it's pretty decent in 8th edition. Love the base. I haven't actually glued it to the base, it just pops in and out, and the actual arc itself also swivels round on the joint. So yeah, really cool. Loving that model. Okay, let's have a look at another Pylon. Okay, so next is my Sentry Pylon. This is a TT combat model. It's made of MDF, but it just fits in as a Sentry Pylon so well. It's just about the right size. It's too small to be an actual Gauze Pylon, but as a Sentry Pylon it's fantastic and really good value for money. So I do plan on getting some more of these for 8th edition at some point. Okay, so next is my Ark Stalker. This model here I'm not a massive fan of. I don't really like the driver. However, I did put the driver on in the end. Also don't like the way it just sort of walks on the table, so I actually converted mine so that it was hovering. And you probably can't really see it here, but yeah, none of those legs are actually touching the table. And as usual, of course, I've magnetised it, so I've got all 3 gun options. Okay, next are my Praetorians stroke Lich Guard. So at the front here I've got 10 of the old school Necron Pariah models. This unit now totally defunct, however they make great stand-ins for Lich Guard with a war size, and they look really cool. I actually really like this unit. At the back I've got the new Lich Guard units there, sword and boards, however they are fully magnetised. I can have both weapon options as Lich Guard, can also turn them into Praetorians and have both weapon options for the Praetorians as well. Okay, so now we're on to the Catans, and I have 6 models in total. So starting here on the left we have the Nightbringer, an original Necron model. Behind him I have this guy here. This is from Master Crafted Miniatures. I use him as Orokin Empowered. Seems to work pretty well for that particular model. Then I have, of course, the Deceiver. Really love this model. This was the first model I ever used a wash on it. Well, ink back in those days. So yeah, I used a red ink wash on there. And I'm really happy how it came out. Very cool looking model. And at the back there I've got my Void Dragon. He was converted from a Nightbringer. I used some Reaper Bone minis for his arms and his leg. I used an old metal Demon Prince head for his head. I just chopped the horns off and repositioned them, and then the rest is green stuff work. Really happy with him. Next we have the Transcendent Catan, really cool model. I painted him with that sort of metal body going out into those green sort of ribbons. Okay, so next I've got this guy here. I also use him as a Transcendent Catan. He was converted by someone else and given to me by the Jank Master. It's originally an Epic Titan model. He's got a destroyer gun and also a Badin's Fist. I just rebuilt him, put some Necron symbols on him and painted him. Really loving him. He's very cool and very unique on the table. Okay, so back to the Scarabs. You've probably seen them scattered around the table. Yes, I have 63 in total. I have 20 original models. That's these ones at the fronts there with their little stems. And the rest of them I made from green stuff. One mould, and I made them all from that one mould. The ones with the green stuff, I have 5 on their bases, just to make them look a little bit more swarmy. That is them. Okay, so next are my Acanthite conversions. So these are converted from the old school metal wraiths, and I'm really happy how they look. I think they look pretty cool, and I actually think they probably look slightly better than the actual Forge World Acanthite models. So I'm really happy with them. As always, all of my flying bases are magnetised, so all the models come off of the flying bases. So that's them. Talking of flying bases, let's have a look at my destroyers. Okay, so here are my destroyers, and I have 9 in total. Once again, really like these models. Loving the green rods in the gun. You get 4 in each gun. Personally, I like the green rods so much more than the current range of Gauls weapons that don't have the green rods in. I think they look really cool. Okay, so that's the destroyers. Let's have a look at my heavy destroyers. Okay, so that's my heavy destroyers. I have 3 in total. I think it would be great to get some more, but that is currently what I have. Okay, so time for the big tanks. So I have 2 monoliths. One of the monoliths I bought at the very beginning of my Necron army. The other one I bought fairly recently. However, I did repaint my original model. It's the first model I've ever repainted. The original paint job just wasn't that great, and I wanted both of the monoliths to look the same. So I repainted. I'm really happy how they look. Okay, so next is my obelisk, and once again this is fully magnetised, so I can make it into a Tesseract vault if I want to. Had a lot of fun with this model. I also on the base put on those little mini scarabs that come in the kit, trying to make the base look pretty cool. And that is it. That is all of the units covered for my Necrons. So what I'm going to do now is put on some music and do some camera sweeps of the Force. I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to your comments. Beam me up.